Take a look up in the sky tonight. You'll see a constellation to your right, a kite made up of all the stars, not too shy of Mars, holding close your wish so very tight. Your wish may not be found by time it's due. At least the stars are listening to you, it's true. But while you wish away, the stars are gone by day, without a wish to wish upon to you. Without a wish to wish upon to you. Unfortunately, it's true. A lot of the time, those who know a lot about us are not often given the time to share things about themselves. An example is these stars. They're always up there in the night sky listening to the people of Earth. But how often do they get to share their perspective? Never. Oh, look at those stars. Those are different. But then again, it's always the different ones who are never given a voice. They look like they want to tell us something. Listen up, folks. This may be worth a listen.
大家好，我的名字叫 Arden。从我正在说的语言，你可能会猜出来我是从哪里来的，对吧？我是澳洲出生的，也是澳洲长大的。但是我的母亲是用她的国家的文化，还有食物，还有其他教她的东西用来教我长大的。我很喜欢我国家的文化，还有食物。我最爱吃的东西是卤肉饭、叉烧包，还有豆花。我国家的文化还有其他国家的文化，像我现在住在的地方澳洲很不一样，然后他们的历史也是很不一样。在一个西方国家长大的话，你肯定会被欺负，还有很多人可能会恨你，因为你是从亚洲来的。还有有很多人和你说，你这样子做你的文化是错的，你这样子煮你的食物是错的，因为他们只想要他们喜欢的东西，他们会恨他们不喜欢的东西，然后他们会觉得他们知道你的文化比你知道你的文化。
Hola, mi nombre es Antonio, and I love my country. It is very good, and there is a lot of tourists that come and go. They stay, they go, they come as they please. There are problems in my country, but there are not many problems that really make the news or national news. My culture is very connected to spiritual and it's very good. If you go to Spain, you'll see what I mean. It's good. There's a lot of dance, there's music, there's bullfights, and you can go and watch. There's a lot of things, and soccer is a big thing. Football, it's called. There's a lot of things. I've wanted to be there, but I haven't yet. Not yet. In the future, yes. Adios, everyone.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Noodles, and I'm going to be discussing what diversity means to me.
Basically, a part of what diversity means to me is women's rights, not having to worry about their own safety in their own neighbourhood, to live freely without fear, just to live out their lives.
To start off with, we're going back in time a lot. I did some research and found that the patriarchy has been around since 4000 BCE. That is more than hundreds of centuries of women being oppressed. I'm sick of it. Everyone is. The patriarchy still affects us today. Women can't walk around in the streets at night alone without having to have keys in between their fingers, have to be careful what outfit we wear, the way we style our hair because we wear a ponytail or something like that, it might get pulled. I hope that in the future that when women come forward and saying that they've been hurt, that they'll be believed and the blame won't be put back onto them. And I hope that they shouldn't have to worry about walking alone at night. They should just be able to walk without keys, walk without fear of men coming up to them. Just a quick note, I know a bunch of people are going to respond to this part of the video by just saying not all men. I obviously do not mean every single man, but enough women have gone through this sort of thing for all women to be scared. So stop blaming us.
I believe it is vitally important for people of all walks of life, and particularly LGBTQ, to be accepted as part of society. Certainly, in the past 40, 50 years, there has been some significant progress in terms of lawmaking and all these other parts of social justice that have ensured, and even with the passing of the gay rights bill in the United States and Australia particularly, there's been a lot of progress that has ensured that LGBTQ people are recognised as more than just their gender identification, that they are human and they're not afraid to express who they are. It's just a matter of no one should ever be judged for anything that they do, the way they express themselves, the way they dress, the way they just choose to be themselves. I think it's totally wrong. I think it's totally wrong that people don't feel comfortable in their own skin, because they absolutely should. They absolutely should. No one should shy away from revealing their quirks to the world. And I can relate to this aspect of social life because in school, up until year 12, so the final year of school, I always found it very challenging to really gel with a group that I could open up well and truly with. So I was too afraid to show emotions. I didn't really reveal too much about myself, or what I did was very surface level. I wasn't really revealing my true interests, and I would classify that in turn I was very inauthentic, and I kind of lost my way when I was at school because I just didn't know who I was. And of course, when you go into high school, you lose your identity and you have to build it up. So it is very important for people and society as a whole to just understand that, hey, this person does things differently to me. But if it's the one thing that I always hold this philosophy that if you're truly passionate about something, whether that be a job that has something that you really specialize in, you should go and do it. If you're interested in fashion, you should pursue an interest in fashion. If that's the one thing that truly brings you happiness and joy, and is something you seek refuge in, you should absolutely go ahead and do it. That's my philosophy on that. So, all I have to say is that LGBTQ members and people that belong to that community, they're all human. They're just like you and me and everybody else on this planet, because there's 7 billion of us. So they're all entirely unique, but at the end of the day, they all bleed the same colour. They bleed the same blood as we do. They feel things that we feel, and that's perfectly fine. But they should never have to feel alienated because they feel as though they don't fit into a certain, or they feel as though they were meant to be born as a biological male or a female. It's up to them. It's their autonomy. It's their body, their choice, which I think is a more relevant statement than ever with the overturning of Roe versus Wade in the United States recently. Whatever your thoughts on that are, it relates to the fact that men and women can choose to live how they want, and who controls their bodies is ultimately up to them. So that's really my takeaway from this, and yeah, that's all I have to say.
Being trans, it's super cool, but like anything, it has its highs and its lows. I love to focus on the highs. It's so liberating to break the mold, to challenge the cookie-cutter template that I was expected to comply with. But the unfortunate thing about that is how people find me a threat. I do little to provoke people. I live my life in regards to myself only. However, this seems to cause others such discomfort. I've been yelled at, food thrown at me, violence has been threatened upon me, but I wish to not focus on the negatives, rather the positives. I'm gaining a form of self-awareness and discovery that many others aren't in tune with. I'm comfortable with myself and who I am. Ever since my coming out, there's been a revelation, an ecstasy, a self-love. This feeling, this indescribable euphoria is better than any other. I yearn for a culture that lets me thrive. I yearn for a society that doesn't fear me. I yearn for a universal understanding that I am not a threat. Less than 1% of the global population is transgender. I hope that my existence, my comfort in my identity, and my pride in myself serves itself as an aid to other people. I want to lead as an example to others. Rock bottom is only where other people want to see you. No matter who you are, what you identify with, you're valid, you are loved, and you may thrive. You will always find a family who sees and appreciates you. Live life for yourself, not others.